And that's 8,000. Field 20 needs fertilizing. Cost 4,000. 8 needs fertilizing. 8's over there. Field 20 is... Field 20 is... over there. So 7 or 8 would be the next logical ones. There's 8. There's 7. 7's worth more. I think 8's at the top though. Nope, 7's at the top. Okay, let's do 7. The edge. There we go. Bit of waste on the right, but close enough. This field, no, this field looks fine. So we can do 7, go straight onto 8. 9 is in front of us, we could do that one too. That should get us up to 65,000 maybe. Which is a good 30,000 more than we started the day with. We fertilized our own fields into the bargain. Then I could borrow 50% of the purchase price of field 5, go and harvest it for my own. Then we'll be harvesting, potentially ploughing, sowing and stuff. This field is not the ideal width for this equipment. Looks like we've got about 50% on the right hand side of the full spreading width to left still to do. Oh yeah, I could do 820 and then go up to 9. There we go. And we'll be back home again. Still reckon we'll have about 4,000 litres left in this tank. Go. Done. Number 8. Haze is getting to the point where I can't see what's on the screen. So we're up to 55. This will put us up to about 60. Oh. This looks like we might get pretty much all the field in. Check out 2 and 1, I guess. Oh, there's more than enough width there for the rest of it. Oh, that's 13, not 20. Where's 20 then? Oh, 20 is even further over the other side of the tracks. Okay. Come on. Let me go. Okay, we did that one. 21 needs reading, not doing that. So there's 1, 2 and 3. 13 or 9. 1 needs doing. 2 needs doing. 3 needs weeding. Where's the other one? 13. Not see 13 on the list. No, or 9. Maybe we do 2 then 9. 2's that one there, 9's that one there. No, I'm just going to do 9 because 9's on the way home. That'll give us about 65,000. Oops. There we go. And turn it around. Spray the birds. We left a gap. Yeah. %. Oh, other way. Cruise control was set too low. Must be nearly there. Done. That's 4,000. So we now have 65,000. We still got a debt of 100. And to buy field 5. It's 126. So if we borrowed 65, we could buy that field. What state's it in? Ready to harvest. Hasn't been fertilized. It's not going to be particularly good yield. Interest. How much is that worth? 218. Oh, do I want to buy 5? Kind of do. Okay. We'll borrow 70. Okay then. We need to get a harvester out there. Where am I? Farm is this way. Hi, Happy, how you doing? Happy Chapman. Where's that Chappy? That could be Chappy Chapman. Hello and welcome anyway. Put that there and unload it. Oh. We'll drag this out that way. There's a bit of a clean, but we'll give that a miss for now. So we have some harvesting to do. Though, really not doing very well at this, am I? That kind of worked. Okay, what do I need this tractor for? One tractor needs the tipper, the other one needs the loading wagon. Neither of them need the front weight. Where can I put? I'll put the front weight over by the fuel. Yes, I also concreted out this area so that it looks a bit better. So, customize. No. No. Yes, wide tires. Okay, I'll put this one. Put this one on the loading wagon. I'll head down to field 5. This farm's been going for, well, since Farm Sim 19 came out. I've been playing it. So far we have this field here, which I've quite heavily expanded out the backside So it's approximately 50% larger than purchase time. And the other field we own is number 11, which is behind the farm buildings I have down along this road. We've just bought field 5 after doing a bunch of fertilising contracts. I did borrow 70,000, so we're now in the hole for $170,000. Said we just bought field 5. It has oats on it and it's ready to harvest, so we need to move everything down here to get that started. So we'll park that there, and we'll yeah, that'll do. Go. Oh, we got chickens too. Since field 11 includes this bit of land here, I think I chopped down a couple of trees, put the shed in, got the maintenance hut. I got the fuel tank last week because and while we're talking about it, this is the reason why I bought the fuel tank last week, was because this thing has no diesel. And you need to select the harvester in order to refuel it. You need to park on the proper side of the tank in order to fill it up, maybe. Okay. We will find the fill area. Oops, we will break the tank open and spill diesel all over the floor. There we go. Okay, so we fill because I didn't fancy driving this all the way down to the gas station, which is more than halfway across the map. Yeah, I think the first day that Farm Sim 19 came out was Monday, and that's my World of Warships stream night, so we didn't play Farm Sim on that day. And on the Tuesday, Giants released this map, this harvester, and the Deutz tractor as mods. So I decided, well, heck, let's use all three of them. Especially since most of the streamers up to that point had been streaming Ravenport and Felsbrunn, because they were the only two maps available for the pre-release streams and YouTube videos. It's sort of everybody's seen those two maps, so let's do something completely different. Now obviously once Estancia Lapacho came out, there were a lot of streamers that were running that farm and decided, oh, we'll get off of Ravenport and Felsbrunn, we'll do that farm instead. So I'm not unique in that matter. And we're still waiting for farms to come out on the main Giants mod hub. Just switch. So, yeah, field 5 not so far to go. It says 6 viewers. So I'll set this off on a worker, and then I can run back and get the other's tractor. make sure we've got straw swath enabled. Yes, we do. Phone. Okay, off you go. Oops, that is the other tractor. Rather fetching shade of military green. We'll push all these over there. Totally unrealistic, but oh, missed, but didn't matter so much. I need to run over to field 5 again. How's the gas on this one? Roadworks around there is not very smooth, but I would need to buy half the land in the area to be able to work it. I just missed my turn, didn't I? Yeah. There goes the harvester. What's the deal with this? So no fertilisation but no weeds, so that's a good thing. And no little red messages that say you need to plough, lime or otherwise. That's done. Okay. Yeah, not that I need straw, but it's money. Yeah, it's only about 2,300 per loading wagon full, but better than nothing. Sweet. So for the most part this is my practice farm, learning how to do stuff. I do have a private farm that I've been messing around with on Ravenport, which I started as a new farmer. And unfortunately the latest save on that got really messed up with the groundwork that I did, terraforming. To fit the sheep pen in, and the grass field I planted wasn't growing, so I trashed that save and restarted it. still as a new farmer, so I still inherited the Fiat, the two Case 720 Pro, 7210 Pros. I kept one of them, sold the other two tractors. I think I got Massey Ferguson as the second tractor. This is not much of a yield on this field. But effectively it's a discount from the purchase price. Also started a farm on Rolling Hills, which is still in development. It's a pre-release version. One thing I've noticed with that is big fields make you lots of money. And with Rolling Hills, the cost of the fields were relatively cheap compared to a map like this. And so I could buy a couple of really big fields for almost nothing, and then buy some really big harvesters, a really big tractor, and you need them because the fields are that big. I should probably swap to the other tractor, unload the harvester. With big fields and big equipment, you can turn over a lot of money a lot quicker. So I bought the big harvester, the tractor, and a fairly big tractor and a big tipper. We've only got 2,000 litres out of that so far. And with the proceeds from the first field, I bought a second field, and then with the proceeds from the second field, I bought subsoiler and that's still running. That's still running. A big planter and a bunch of other big stuff. Yeah, I got to Arthur quite late, I think. I mean, my whole sort of following YouTube and what have you, I started out, I bought Elite Dangerous, started playing that and figured, well, I'll check out some of the YouTube videos on Elite Dangerous and see what other people are doing. Came across a chap called the Mighty Jingles, and I watched his, I believe, one and only ever Elite Dangerous video. And at that point he decided that was the game he wanted to play to get away from it all, type of thing. So he didn't want people recognising him. So from there I started watching his World of Tanks videos. Played World of Tanks. Not very good at it because, kind of like Jingles, I'm old and crap, and World of Tanks takes some level of skill. It's not quite as manic as a first-person shooter, but it still requires a level of manual dexterity, which I'm rapidly losing due to age. So when World of Warships came out, I switched straight to that, and I find that a lot easier to play at my age. started following some other YouTubers, and then sort of fall of 2016, one of the guys who did World of Warships videos decided he was going to play Farm Sim 17, so he did his one and only ever Farm Sim 17 video, and I figured, well, that's an interesting looking game, I think I might try that. So I started Farm Sim 17 pretty much when it came out. Had no experience of the previous Farm Sim games, but probably about halfway through the first year came across Arthur's videos on how to feed your cows and how to bale hay and goodness knows what else. And I've been following Arthur ever since then. Last fall I got myself a proper gaming rig rather than the really old, barely adequate PC that I'd been using for the previous 5 years, and that allowed me to start streaming, so I started streaming after that. I don't do anything specific for YouTube. I just dump all of my streams to YouTube. Initially it was just one dump per stream, so if I streamed for 3 hours you got a 3-hour YouTube video. I'm definitely not into watching a 3-hour video in one stretch, and I find it annoying to sort of watch half a video and then go back to it later. So in the last couple of weeks I've started splitting my videos down into sort of hour segments. I try to aim for an hour or shorter, but I try to find a convenient point. So if I've been, oh, that's full. If I've been harvesting, then I'll try to get to the end of a field and break the video up at that point and drop it in separate segments onto YouTube. If I stream for 3 hours, you'll get 3 videos. If I stream for 5 hours, you get 5 videos. I don't think I've ever done a 5-hour stream. I have work, so it's sort of something I have to do in order to buy food and pay the bills. So in all things that takes precedence, so I'll stream evenings 4 days a week, and I collaborate with Arthur. We used to do World of Warships on Monday, but he dropped World of Warships when he started to or when he qualified to become a partner of Twitch, and he needed to build up his audience, and he didn't figure that World of Warships had the viewing figures on Twitch that he needs them to be. So he stopped collaborating on World of Warships. But we do alternate weeks, American Truck and European Truck Simulator with his followers. And on Friday we have a co-op, we play Farm Sim 19 on Fridays with a whole bunch of us. Saturday mornings I stream my Farm Sim 17 farm, which is one I've got about 500 hours of playtime in. It's a fairly large farm, and I'm playing it with seasons. I've been playing it for 5 years of season play, although I've only streamed the last year. only 1400 from the sale of the straw. That's not good. Although it's better than nothing. Yeah, there's another guy I watch, Co-Carnage, C-O-H-H, Carnage, all one word name, and he does a lot of playthroughs. He streams daily for about 8 hours, breaks for lunch, and then in the evening he helps his wife look after their kid. But he streams a lot of different types of games. Oops, don't want to go right there. And so I tend to watch his YouTube videos of his playthroughs on games I'm either interested in and figure I might like to play that, or games where, well, I'm not interested in playing that, but it might make something I'm interested in watching. So I've watched a bunch of his playthroughs. And I kind of trust his opinion on games. He big, you know, it's his, you know, being on Twitch is his job. You know, when you stream 8 hours a day, that's a job. Now, it's a job he happens to enjoy doing, but you have to be a good entertainer. So he's kind of worth watching, I find. But I don't watch everything he puts out. I just watch the games that I think that looks interesting. I like to see what that's about. Why aren't I picking anything up? Because it didn't. Yes, now it dropped. One of the games he did recently was the latest release of Bard's Tale. Now, I remember back when I first got into computers that Bard's Tale was pretty much a text-based game, and I played through that a bit, and I watched his stream and figured, yeah, this latest incarnation of Bard's Tale isn't my idea of a fun game. Find on YouTube, I think my most popular videos for viewing times is World of Warships. More so since I started splitting up the videos into hour-long segments, so you get about 3 battles per video. Whether they're good or bad, that's kind of out of my control. Played 3 games this morning, didn't stream them, but played tier 8 battleships, and I was up tiered to tier 10 every single time, and every single team I was put on completely sucked. When your bottom tier battleship is pulling number 2 on the XP earned table, your tier 10s are doing something wrong. How did Bard's Tale turn out? I have no idea. I think I watched his first 8 hours of videos and decided, yeah, I'm not really into this game. And much as he's entertaining, it was kind of, yeah, I'm not interested, so I'm wasting my time watching it. I did a playthrough of BattleTech. I watched that from end to end. I also bought BattleTech and played it through myself, so but then I've been playing BattleTech since 1983 as a tabletop game. So the fact it came out on computer, and it came out, you know, the BattleTech game just released was produced by the team who owned the original tabletop game. So they made a game that was as accurate as you can get from being a tabletop game into a computer game. I've enjoyed Mech Warrior and Mech Commander, but Mech Warrior, while it has the essence of BattleTech universe, it's not BattleTech. It's it's a game in and of its own right. Many years ago, there was a game called Starfleet Command came out on computer, which was based on a tabletop game called Starfleet Battles, which I used to play, which came out around about 1978, 79, and was based on the original Star Trek, Starship Combat. And I used to play that game quite a lot back when I was at school and college. And I think they did quite a good representation of a real-time computer game on the port over to as a computer game. That was a good fun game, but while it was set up initially to be multiplayer as well as single player, the multiplayer aspect kind of went away after about a year and a half because there wasn't enough depth of the game to keep people playing for years on end, which was a bit of a shame. There was one guy I played against, and he could beat everybody. Yeah, he was a very good player at Starfleet Command. And he was the only player I could consistently beat because he could not predict what I was going to do. And that's part of the game, is to outwit your opponent. And I always outfought him. Everyone else, yeah, I wasn't quite so good against. I couldn't get consistent results. He was by far the better player between the two of us, but he just couldn't get the drop on me, which is kind of funny. Yeah, Warhammer 40k came out about the time I was getting out of tabletop gaming. I actually worked for Games Workshop at the time. They had just bought out Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. I never really got into them. I mean, my role-playing career was typically Dungeons and Dragons, or a game called Traveller, which was a science fiction. You could call it a science fiction version of Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't quite. I mean, it was a different game mechanic. but the whole essence was there. You're playing a hero. You own some tramp trader wandering around the galaxy, buying stuff, selling stuff, doing jobs for people. Played a bit of, what was it, Games Workshop pulled out a game called Golden Heroes. We played that for a bit as well. It's basically a superhero game. So everyone generates a character who's a superhero, comes up with a backstory, and then we go out righting wrongs and what have you. I think as far as Games Workshop games were concerned, I was more into their tabletop type games. We played a lot of Blood Bowl, which was sort of kind of American football with orcs and dwarves and elves. And there was far more violence on the field, obviously, because orcs and dwarves and elves, and the general animosity between the races. I think it was Warhammer 40k. There was a, if you read the lore, LORE, on orcs, it said typically orcs ride horses into battle because at the end of the day, if the horse dies, you can eat it, which strikes me as kind of orcish. But, they weren't particularly technologically advanced. So, if you want a reliable form of transport into combat, I guess a horse is as good as any. And you can't eat a tank if it breaks down. How are we doing here? It's it says 10:58. I wish that time was a little bit bigger. So I'll get to the end of harvesting this field and we'll take a check on what needs to happen next on it. We'll plan to set that up for next week. So, turn on the thing, lower the thing. We should probably think about unloading the harvester when it gets back up to the top again. So in my youth I worked for Games Workshop. I left Games Workshop and worked for Virgin Game Centre when they were still at 100 Oxford Street. And then I quit that because I was trying a home study computer course. And travel up to London used to take 2 hours in the morning, home again 2 hours in the evening, and it didn't leave a lot of time for study, so I got a job locally local to where I lived. Completed the home study course and became a computer programmer, which pays a lot better than working in retail, although in some ways it's not as much fun. Because you don't get to talk to as many people about stuff. But then again, it can be less stressful because you don't get to talk to people about stuff. There's one company I worked for as a programmer, and they were an American company, but they'd opened offices in England. And so they had us doing programming changes for European clients. And then they decided that wasn't working out too well for them, and they wanted to turn us into technical support, desk people, and no. You do not want me on the phone to your customers, because when they phone up for the 5th time in the same week about exactly the same problem because they haven't figured out how to do stuff, I get very sarcastic. And that's probably not a good plan if you want to keep your customers. So I quit on them. I just said, yeah, no, that's not a good plan. I didn't become a computer programmer so I could sit on a telephone help desk and listen to people's problems. So I need to turn that off for a minute. We need to... Oh, that's going to stop the train. Yeah, thank you. Need to reverse that out from there and go and get the tractor. There's the tractor. Because I forgot to unload the harvester on its last pass down. But that means there should be ample space in the tank to unload the rest of it, or finish the field off. We go again. Go. Good job. Reverse that tad. Got a bunch of guys at our church who've become paramedics in the last couple of years. What am I trying to do? Wages. One of them was in the army. I don't think he was a medic. Yeah, there are times I miss working in a retail, but I certainly don't miss the income. Because, yeah, as a single person working retail, it's not enough to live on by a long shot. One year my wife did seasonal retail to help with the finances over Christmas. And that's fine when you've got someone earning money in the family, but I wonder if it's one or two more runs. That might be down and up, and we're done. I have been noticing from other people's videos that horses are definitely a good earner in Farm Sim 19. In 17 I used to do cows. Why didn't that work? Because we're full. Okay. Such that I like to have the level of cows up to a point where the daily income from milk covered the servicing costs of your vehicles, or maintenance cost of your vehicles daily. So I would like midnight to be always slightly in my favour. So subtract the cost of all the equipment, maintenance, subtract the cost of animal upkeep and farm buildings, and then add in the farm income for things like beehives and greenhouses and solar panels and what have you. Add in the sale of milk, and so long as you came out on the plus side every time, that was good. I never looked at my cows making loads of money. And sheep would be a good income source. They make lots of money. Don't know who that idiot is. But gee, thanks for your constructive criticism. There you go. In Farm Sim 19, they've seriously reduced the income from sheep and cows. So you really have to work the land hard to get anywhere. What's that? Oh, harvesting. Oh, that was harvesting cup. Okay. Okay. 14's ready to harvest. I think what I'll do now is the harvester's finished, so we'll go and pick up the last of the straw. I won't run it back to the barn this week. Because I think we've done enough of that. I will empty the harvester and I will probably take the grain out for sale. Because as per usual, we need the money. So it might not even do that. I'll put this on the field. Pick up. To the adjacent field. I need the harvester out the way. Other way. There we go. Pull this forward. Open the pipe. This loaded. It's actually more grain than I thought we'd get. It's gonna be about 90% full. Okay, you're done. Close that. Fold it up. Turn the flashing lights off and turn the harvester off. There we go. Finish off the field. Turn the loading wagon off. We'll turn that tractor off too. So, where are you going with oats? Dum 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 dum. That's oats. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Transport company? Okay, fair enough. Actually, that's not so bad, is it? I just have to take it down to there. And then load it on the train. Okay, we can do that. It's easy enough. I did check the field while I was here. Good. Doesn't need lime, doesn't need ploughing. So we can set that up for planting next week. There's the silo up ahead. So yeah, there is a back road up to close to where the transport company is. Unfortunately, the road stops at the top as a sort of a sightseeing view across the valley, and doesn't give you direct access to the transport company, which is a bit of a problem. To get stuff to the transport company, we have to ship it by train. There we go. Take this back to the farm. And I'll attach the plough and seeder to it. And leave it out for next time. It's my method of sort of notes about where we got up to, because I'm only playing this farm once a week. I am likely to forget where we got up to and what I plan to do next. Typically I'll put everything away in the shed, and then the job I have planned to do at least first thing next week, I would set up a tractor and leave it out, so that when I come into the game I can say, oh, why is there a tractor parked at the login point? And why has it got all that equipment on it? Oh, I must have something planned. I might not remember which field I have planned, but I'll remember I need to plant a field somewhere. So what we will do, jump out there. We'll clean things up here. Give that a little bit of a spray, but not too much, because this is going straight back out and it's still 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, let's put park this over here. Put the lid on, disconnect, and since the seeding equipment we have doesn't cultivate, we are going to need that. Tractor has probably gone nose up, not quite, and the seeder container. We still have seed in it. I'll top it up. Must be lime. Okay, do I have any seed anywhere? That's looking like a big no. Okay, not to worry. So when I start up the game, I appear right about here. So by leaving this tractor here, I'm going to trip over it when I come out next week and say, oh, that's all set up for something. But for now, I wish you all a good evening. Thanks for watching. Sorry about our obnoxious visitor, and I will be back on Thursday with Truck Sim with Arthur and friends. In the meantime, have a good day tomorrow, and I'm out of here.